Hey, welcome to day 6 of the 1 week to create a movement marketing media kit challenge. And I forgot my banner again today. Let's see what it is for today. For the MMMK, I call it for short. It is why choose interview topics and interview talking points and article topics. And so my throat is a little bit dry because I've been talking a lot, but hopefully it will hold out. So if you are new to me, my name is Iona Mead, excuse me, host of the Soul Legacy TV, Spiritual Business Success with Iona YouTube channel. And so in this MMMK challenge, what you will see is a playlist. I will pop all of these teachings throughout the 7 days into a playlist. So depending on whether you've been watching and you're following along, you're watching in the Soul Legacy Academy, you're watching on the socials, will depend what you can see. And I literally, excuse me, I literally should have waited another 5 minutes. I knew it. So we are creating a movement marketing media kit challenge, I say. Or the challenge is for you to create a movement marketing media kit challenge. I do have a template for you. The link is down in the description for you to get this off Canva. Now, the whole idea of this whole entire week is, I'm sure that you've got the gist by now, is to get really clear on your movement, clarity on that, and create a media kit to represent you and your business, right? And so hopefully you've enjoyed this so far and you've learned a little bit. Let me know. And if you are in the Soul Legacy Academy and you are one of my co-authors, hey love, you're one of my co-authors, then let me know that you're finding this of value. We talked about sharing your spiritual awakening story, and now we're going to talk about what kind of topics that you might want to write articles around and you also might want to speak about. So the talking points. So we have here, love, we have Robin Knott here, who is our lead soul guided instructor for SBYN, the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network, which I'm the producer of, and for the Soul Legacy Academy. And she's also the host of the Energy Healing TV podcast with Robin on Rumble, and she has the podcast on Spotify. I'm sure you're going to spread that out as we grow, and also the founder of the energyhealingschool.com. So thank you so much for joining me. Robin has been on this journey with me for a while. When I first did this back in March or February 2021, and I did it last year. So this is an annual challenge that I will continue to do throughout the 7 seasons of what I call my annual Spiritual Biz YouTubers Summit. No, the Spiritual Awakening Annual YouTube Summit. No, that didn't sound right. So for the next 7 years at least, I'm committed to grow my own YouTube channel, to grow my own movement marketing media kit, and I've scheduled out my business over this next 7 years. So this is for me primarily first. I want my own talk to get featured. So as I'm sharing this with you, I'm building my own portfolio on the Soul Legacy Academy, and I'm taking my own book on my own virtual tour, and I will get featured. I will actually bring people in, so other fellow soul guided influencers into our world, and interview them on the summit, and interview and share the book collaboration as well for Spiritual Awakening Stories. Robin says, thank you for the shout out. You're welcome, love. So hopefully this won't be too long as well, because I know that Robin has her challenge as well on her YouTube channel. So I'm so excited about that. So let me share my mind map as always. So this is the 1-page template. And what we started with was sharing what is a movement marketing, what is movement marketing, what is a media kit, and what's an authority platform, and what's a author and authority bio. So hopefully, and how do I share my spiritual awakening story? So hopefully you can go back through those and you can take action and do the tasks. So I share teachings every day, tasks, and then the talks. And the talks piece is where you can get Q&A. So again, I will do this challenge annually live on the Soul Legacy TV, Spiritual Business Success with Iona, my YouTube channel. You'll see in the playlist the next year's will be, once I'm done with the 7 days, you'll see next year's scheduled out. So whenever you're watching this, excuse me, You can also schedule, you'll see the schedule for the next year's call, and you can get Q&A. Now, if you are going through my 5-day spiritual YouTubers from scratch, a 5-day fast track movement marketing model challenge, it's a self-study challenge as part of my book, as a book reader, and you leave a review for that 5-day challenge, I will actually gift this call. Masterminders get gifted this call as well, just because they're both related. Robin was saying today that, you know, she's doing the MMMK challenge and the 5-day challenge kind of in unison, and they are built with the each one in mind. It is part of this whole process. So I love that. So we have teachings, tasks, and talks. That's what I structure, and that's what I teach you to do as well. I am actually going to share the talking points with Sasha Sabbath. This is how I work the mind maps, right? So let me find her over here. So Sasha Sabbath was the inspiration behind this whole movement marketing media kit challenge, not because she told me to do it, but just because of how she approached me. Full on media kit, full on speaking portfolio, questions, bio, pictures, everything. And I shared about the bio, shared about Sasha's bio and what I will do and her appearances. I haven't shared the actual exact DM, and I do that in step 4, the exact DM, that the direct message and email that Sasha shared with me, and I break it down what she actually said. So I do that in the Soul Legacy launch blueprint in the bootcamp in step 4. And then once we are done with that step, we can go out and get featured on radio, podcasts, magazines, and do a TED talk, do all the things that we really want to do. All right. So I am going to bring in Sasha's questions. So hopefully I don't forget. I don't think I will. But what I am going to do is go to the teachings for today. They're not long. And if you've got any questions, I will come back in a second. I'll check in before I start to talk lots with and just see if Robin's got any questions and see where I am and make sure. Hopefully I won't freeze. No, you haven't. Cool. All right. Hopefully I won't freeze. If I put me over there a little bit, I'll be able to see. Okay, cool. All right. So teachings today, how to craft interview talking points and topics that connect soul to soul with your high paying one-to-many soul clients and make them want your freebie gift. So examples. Now, for your freebie gift, it will depend. If you are someone, I'll try not to go on around, who believes in email list building, and you stand for that, and you're like, yeah, go out there and build a list, offer a freebie, and then like I get a name and email, and I get lots of people on my email list, and then I'll be able to send lots of emails to them and say buy my stuff. If you are that type of business owner, that is absolutely fine. It's not my style, I will just say. So when I teach you how to give value and give a gift and say hi, I'll come back and check on comments in just a second. So if you are that kind of person, I'm probably not the person for you, because I talk about legacy building versus list building. So what I want you to do is think about when you're writing your book as building your author platform, gifting a free chapter of your book, which I do, and also a freebie. And the way that I teach in the Soul Legacy Launch Blueprint is to give a free masterclass and bonuses. So you'll see that I give a free masterclass. And so when you're going out there and getting featured, right, you might have lots of different things that you could offer. All roads lead to my masterclass, because that's my level of enrollment. And if you remember about the 1-page plan that you can get as a masterclass bonus, then you'll see all my roads lead to masterclass. And the live happens on the last Monday of the month at 3 p.m. UK time. Now, the interview questions and topics that I want to get featured on are going to be related. This sounds a bit weird. They're going to be related to the back end of my spiritual business. Now, I gave an example with the 1-page plan of building your business, and this being stage 2. Let me just really quickly bring that up. So I put this into context, and I can't remember exactly where it is, but I know I will find it. On the intro, it was on one of these. Oh gosh, do you know what? I don't even know if I'll be able to find it. Maybe this one. Maybe it'll just come to me. Maybe. Maybe not. Okay, which day was it? Oh gosh, the business, maybe this one. Oh no, I can't. Anyway, there's a one-page plan. It's not this one. That's really bad. Right, okay. So there's a one-page plan. I won't go into it. There's a one-page plan, and this is my one-page plan. This is my framework. And on it, I talk about going out there and getting featured on podcast, radio, etc. summits, and giving a call to conversation, not a call to action, go and download my PDF, but a call to conversation, as in a monthly group call, days, a call to a live masterclass if you want to do a live masterclass. And so all roads lead to that masterclass. And so you have an enrollment spot. So you have your marketing and then you have an enrollment space for people to then enroll with you. So the idea of going out and getting featured and having these articles and these interview topics is to reverse engineer your business, meaning that you're not just popping out there and going to get featured and then not leading people to somewhere where you can offer more value, but actually have an enrollment spot, like enroll people, like invite them to work with you, and then offer services on the back end. So this one-page plan has a $55 offer, 555 and 5,555. And you'll plug in your frozen. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Okay. So yeah, so the idea is to implement this one-page plan. And so what I want to do is support you in what I call taking the bank 50K in 50 days challenge. And I share what that is on the masterclass. Because as spiritual entrepreneurs, as service-based business owners, as soul-guided influencers, as energy healers, we don't want to go out there and work for someone else. But we don't want to build a business where we're not profiting and we're not experiencing that financial freedom, because it's painful. And I've been there through one of my spiritual awakenings, being bankrupt and homeless and all the things. So your interview topics. So I've got the summit talking about spiritual awakening. That's why I've been talking about this the whole time. And so that's the topic. But for the masterclass, I talk about speaking, serving, and signing up your high paying soul clients. And for the $55 fast track movement marketing model, that's about building your author and your authority platform. Hopefully that makes sense. So I'm not going out there, excuse me, and just going out there and getting featured for no apparent reason other than it's just a joy to go get featured and just talk. For me, that adds noise to the industry. And I think, why? Because we already say, I don't have time. I'm super busy. Like, stop wasting your time doing that then. Because when you go out and you get featured and you become part of the noise and you're just talking and you're not repurposing the interview, you're not offering value, meaning like, so what? People can hear you speak. But really, when you are awake, you've got gifts. So you're speaking over here and then going, I don't like marketing, but you're speaking over there. That is your marketing. And your duty as a light worker is to invite people to work with you and help transform their life, because that's your purpose, right? And you're committed to it. So just going out there and speaking randomly, and trust me, people do. I've done a lot of interviews. I started on the Dive Social Summit with 49 soul speakers. I did close to 100 interviews. There's a lot of people that came to me with their business on the back end, their freebie, and what they wanted to talk about that did not match. It wasn't a funnel. And that's one of the reasons why I created this, what I call a high paying soul client funnel formula, so that you can go out and get featured on the topics that relate to your free gift, that relate to your enrollment spot, that relate to the back end of your business. Because you're only going out there and talking to what I call your STAP, your soul tribe avatar, persona, or profile. Lots of people call it your ideal avatar, client avatar. I say soul tribe because it's not just one client, it's a tribe that you want to build as readers and viewers on your YouTube channel. Hopefully that makes sense. So it's not random topics that you're going, and I'll share more. So this is the first episode of the Soul Legacy TV, launching, leading, and leaving your soul legacy. And I talked earlier on in the week about exporting the transcript, excuse me, and having a look. And I shared with you on day 5 how to have a look at the transcripts that are on YouTube as well. So you don't even have to pay that if you don't want to, but you can get an idea of the kind of topics that you want to be speaking about. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. I'm going to give you some tasks, but I'm going to go over to Sasha's excuse me, media kit and bring up some of the questions that she had and she wanted to get featured with. Okay, and why. And then I've got a couple of windows to share, so hopefully it won't be too much of a long one. All right, cool. Excuse me. So by the end of this challenge, you should have quite a substantial portfolio, or beginning to, or know how to. So Sasha is an entrepreneur, intuition, and soul purpose coach and healer. Excuse me. And when Sasha sent me the message, what Sasha did do was she reached out and she told me about herself. She told me about my summit and what she'd seen and the theme of the summit, etc. And then what she did was actually put an asterisk. I can't say it. And she said, I've asterisked, I can't say it, questions that may be more relevant for our interview. So it's like, here's the talking points that I usually talk about. And I'm going to highlight for you some of the ones that might be relevant to you, Iona. I'm going to make your life easier. Hello, be that kind of guest. That's gorgeous, isn't it? It doesn't take that much more. And so one of the first questions, although I didn't do this for my interview, and if you've got like a podcast or something like that, and you present to a podcaster and they need that content, and you say, hey, I'd love to feature on your show. I believe that I can offer value to your audience. Here's this, this, and this. And then you actually say and do what I teach you, and I'll talk about it more on day 7. When you create a joint vision partnership and you create passive income streams like I'm sharing with you, you can offer 50% commission to excuse me, that host for sharing you, maybe not on a podcast, but you could, or out to their email list, etc. So if you create a passive income stream, you can split the revenue. And the reason why I say that is because these questions are more tailored to the promotional side. We offered freebies and that was it. I didn't offer a paid. I'm fine with talking about stuff, but my summits were to offer giveaways. So it was different, and I like to be a little bit different, and I like to think of the audience. And because I had 49 soul speakers at once, and then I had 27 legendary light leaders, it was too much to bombard people with like, here's a full program from so and so that cost a couple of grand. Here's another program from so and so that cost a couple of grand. That wasn't it. What we did was offer a giveaway, and that's what I'll do for the Spiritual Awakening Annual YouTube Summit. So you'll see the kind of questions and you'll gauge what you want to use. But this will give you a little bit of an idea. So the first one was, what do you mean by soul purpose? Bearing in mind what Sasha is covering, right? These are not questions for you to take. It's inspiration. And again, have a look up of different interviews. The next one, number 6, what do you mean by succeed in sync with your soul? That's trademarked. Another one, number 10, what do you mean? And my interview series was how to fulfill your life's purpose and get paid in the process. So it made sense. What do you mean when you say there's an alchemical connection between soul radiance and revenue? Right? It works. And so Sasha says, what is soul purpose based marketing? And why is it important for today's entrepreneur? Love that question. Another one, what is your sole purpose? Success tip series, and how will it benefit people? So it was really about bringing people back to you. Yes, you're offering value, but at some point, it's like taking people to that enrollment spot, right? And so the way that we do it is to build our YouTube channel and offer free YouTube challenges and offer the free chapter of your book, etc. Right? Or free preview of your challenge. She says, number 14, what is your free, excuse me, what is your free sole purpose and success activation session? What results will they get from spending some time with you? Again, I don't do a session when I'm going out and getting featured, but you can if you want to. I want to create passive income streams. And this was a long time ago as well. It was like 8 years ago. And I'm not sure what Sasha has now for her portfolio. 15, you regard your work as producing healers, bringing out the healer that lives within everyone. What do you mean by that? And the last one was, what is your current course that you're launching? Who would benefit from it? And what results will they get? So you see that, you know, some of the questions, obviously you're offering value, but you're leading up to why you want to get featured and why you want to actually do your work in the world and how is it going to benefit people. All right. So I'm going to go, did I do all of that one? Yeah, I did. Hang on. Next one, tasks. All right. So your tasks, this was quick. Hang on. Are you still there, Robin? Am I good? Eek. Robin said thank you for the shout, and that was it. So you're there. You're probably getting your stuff ready for your challenge. Google interview questions. You can Google interview questions. I've had multiple spiritual awakening stories, so you can share your stories, your client stories, your soul family stories, as long as they won't mind. I'm often talking about my daughter, I talk about my son, talk about my granddaughter, talk about whoever I'm with. Your good love. Yay. Thank you. So I wrote about this book, or shared about this book, and I wrote a chapter in it. And I wrote a chapter called Time to Turn Your Wounds into, I said time to turn your wounds into wisdom, and they shortened it, Turn Your Wounds into Wisdom. And so it was 365 soulful messages, the right guidance at the right time. And it hit #1 bestseller. Now, the kind of categories that I might want to talk about, obviously I only contributed one chapter, but this book hit #1 in lots of different categories on Amazon, and some of the categories were new age and spirituality, self-help. So I might want to talk about that, self-help and dreams, self-help, spiritualism, spiritual healing and mental health, self-help and emotion, self-help and self-esteem, and self-help and midlife. Right. So whatever your category is that you're writing your own book on, then you can bring that into those teachings. And so when I saw, you know, when you see your angel numbers, right, this was one of mine, for 1333. And I tell the story, you'll have heard all of my stories, Robin. So my son had passed, and in April 2015. And so I paused my business, obviously, for 7 weeks. And then I came back online, fulfilled everything, my boot camp, and did my summit, just pushed through. And I was in service. It was just really intense for me, but it was just what I needed to do. And then I came offline to help and heal myself first for like 3.5 years. And I was cleaning homes. And when at the time that I share in the book, in the core of the book that I contributed to, I share this moment. And I was working in the soul sucking day job, cleaning homes, and I was like, that is it. I was visualizing doing this, and I was like, I need to get back into my spiritual business. Like, I'm done. Like, I don't want to clean anybody else's homes. I'm done. So my twin flame, he picked me up, my ex-partner picked me up, and I literally got in the car, and we both just looked at the car clock, and it was he'd learned that stuff by then, right? And we both went, oh, look. And I had that sense and that feeling that my son was saying, Mum, it's time to turn your wounds into wisdom. Like, I'd been offline, I was helping and healing myself first. I'd have my headphones on. It was a really therapeutic time for me. All the time that I was going through my own stuff that I'd created before on prosperity. I'd done a lot of my work. I'd done all of my boot camp. I'd done the system that I'm sharing, but I hadn't put it together in this way. And one of the things that I was reminded of today when I was watching the replays from last year of this challenge was that where I was working was in a barn conversion, and that's my dream home. It was a half barn. And one of the ladies was from, like, what we say in England is up north, like there's different parts of England up north. And her neighbors were fostering. And I was talking about this is like 8 years ago. No, not 8 years ago, 5 years ago, 5 years ago. And yeah, and they were fostering, and we were talking about it, and I said, I wanted to foster, etc. Trans forward to now, I have been fostering, not now, I was up until a couple of months ago, for a whole year. Three of my great nieces and nephews, under 5 for a year. And I think, wow, you don't realize. And then I took another year off. So you don't really realize, and I put that there for me to tell that story. And when I came back online and I was saying that I was going to do a summit, and there was EC Argetta, she posted in a Facebook group, oh, I want to do a summit and looking for a co-host. So I was like, I do my summits differently. Let's talk. And we'd got on the phone. I was telling her about my son. And then all of a sudden she told the story to me. She said that my son had come through, and he's like, tell my mum I knew about the light. And I'm like, what? And the light had gone on in the kitchen a couple of weeks before, or not long before. And I was talking to my partner, and I was on a video call, and I just thought, let me pause in the kitchen. Don't know why. Paused in the kitchen, and the light went out. And I was like, did you see that? It was like one of those moments. I was like, did you see that on the video? And he's like, yeah. And it took all of that conversation. And I said, if it's Darnell, my son, he will turn the light back on. And the light went on. All that dialogue, the light's off. All that dialogue, and the light is on. I'm like, so a couple of weeks later, when I'm doing this summit and I'm coming back online, remember, after being offline, and it was the way that I was coming online. And oh gosh, she said, she let me speak, and she said, your son said, tell my mom I knew about the light. I was like, oh my gosh. And he said to her, tell my mom, he's whispering, my mom's over there, my mom's over there. He was whispering in people's ears ahead of me. All the people that I was featuring, it's like, my mom's over there, my mom's over there, my mom's over there. I was like, oh. And it was at that same time. So when you go through your awakenings, and they're like just personal stories, and then you start to tell them out loud, and I'm like, oh yeah, that was at the same time, wasn't it? When it clicks in. Crazy. Just crazy. Robin says, sorry, I'm multitasking, not a skill I manage well. Yeah, I thought so. You'll be getting ready for your stuff. I'll be on your lives. I knew about the light. He's like, tell my mom I knew about the light. I was like, holy moly. Start to look around. I was like so freaked out, but just so blessed at the same time. So when I say that, he said it's time to turn your wounds into, I felt it. Because I'm not that, I know you can be that gifted, and everybody can. However, I'm good. Okay. So part of your tasks are to listen to radio, video, podcast, your area of expertise, and see how you could answer questions, right? Take note of the questions the host is asking and alter it to suit your topic. Think about intros, outros, how you want to position yourself. And you won't be able to hear the sound on this because it's just wonky. And I don't know why, but Virginia Parsons, she spelled wrong, but that was okay. So I was interviewed. This is the Hangout. So Virginia was like a Hangouts expert, and then what you'll see is someone else on there. Hang on, I don't know where the sound is coming out. I think it's coming out of my headphones. To be fair, and hopefully you can hear me good. So So Dana Rivera, when I always talk about, and she said, actually, Iona's my business coach. So it's like a nice little testimonial there. But what we had done is met in a a Hangouts for Visionary Leaders group, a paid program. And Dana came on board, and I was helping my students get ready to be featured. And so, Robin says, okay. Sorry, I have to hop off to make dinner and eat before the challenge. I'm back for the parts I missed. Thank you, love. I understand. Thank you so much for everything you do. Oh, you're welcome. Oh, love you, billions. Love you too. So Dana, I was helping Dana get ready to get featured. So she was not only in the Hangouts program, but we were working together, and we went on and we got featured together. So the interview questions and topics, I not long saw this. So earlier on in the week, I was sharing about my interview with Brenda about attracting your soul tribe, and that was my thing. Still is my thing. So the inspirational businesswoman show. So these were the topics. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? Yeah, you can. Offering a gold mine, Virginia interviews. I founder of the Soul Speakers Academy, as I said, it's now Soul Legacy Academy. There's the picture. Gosh, it looks so different. And I made life purpose business coach. Attract your soul tribe now. So I'm just going to let this play and see the interview topics, because I was like, oh, hot topic, connecting your soul's message and mission. In a different way now. I love it. And I talk about your big vision and your soul mission, same thing. Topic, communicating your value one to one and one to many. So I teach you to move from a to many to one to one to many. And yeah, topic number three, collaborating, co-creating with joint vision partners. That's what I'm sharing now for you to get ready with the MMMK to connect with joint vision partnerships. We're creating, collaborating. That's what the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network is all about. Join us on Monday, catch replay on YouTube. Boom. Right? How cool is that? It was on Hangouts, and that was me. So this was the this was the interview. So I can listen back to this interview and see what I actually said. Because your girl can't actually remember. It was a long time ago. I did get featured and it was nice. This blew me away when I listened to it. So interviewed by Iona. So I was interviewing, and I interviewed Jim Phillips. And Jim was the secret child life after loss. We both in that, and I didn't even realize, but I did interview him, and he's talking, what is your legacy and how do you create it? I talked about the Soul Speakers Academy. So I didn't even realize that Jim was talking about your legacy. And one of the things that he said on there, well, many things is really powerful, is that about your legacy and people not realizing that their legacy is the life that they're living now. And I always say that. And I was like, oh, it's absolutely incredible. And I didn't think I was talking about legacy that much then. So like years on, I'm talking about launching, leading, and leaving your soul legacy. And obviously, my son had not long passed, so it was Soul Speakers Academy. Now it's the Soul Legacy Academy. I shared this interview earlier, and then this is me featuring on Real People, Real Stories, Raw and Real. Jay Rothman he has his own YouTube podcast, and he just interviews, and I interviewed him and he interviewed me. This show right here was absolutely hilarious. So this is called Bigger Than Me, right? Loving the Journey of Life and Living Out Your Dreams by Tracy Harrell. Now, I was featured with my ex, my twin flame. So Barry and I were on here. Now, at the beginning of this interview, just to tell the story, Tracy is introducing us, and we've got somebody else on. We've got Sarah on as well. We're waiting, to be, introduced. And Barry has 4 children, and 2 of his youngest children were at the house. And we were saying, we're going to be interviewed. It was during quarantine, etc. And my daughter, Mia, was supposed to come back to look after the boys. However, she didn't come back right on the dot. Bear in mind, she was 17 at the time. She's now 20. So the boys, we were like, never teach children to go and answer the door, right? So there's me going, my face, we were like, oh gosh, listen to you. Just we're looking like that is hilarious. So anyway, I've only watched this with so we're telling the boys, and we're like, oh my gosh. We were trying to style it out. Anyway, so we told the boys don't answer the door. So Barry had to leave, go and get Mia, etc. So Tracy was amazing. She actually ended up bringing the whole entire family into the interview. And what she was asking the kids about us. And so she interviewed Mia on there and she said, what is the best thing about your mum? Like what she's taught you as a 17-year-old, blah, blah. And Mia said, me. And she's like, what do you mean? She said, she taught me to be me. And she said, what do you mean? Be specific. And she said, she's so accepting. And she said, she accepts herself. She's taught me to accept. I taught her to accept her for herself and the way that I carry myself. I was like, oh my God. So that legacy lives on. Trace was absolutely amazing. And then we got interviewed again for a second hour, which was really, really special. It was just really, really beautiful to do that. So, when you go out and you get featured, it's that moment of whatever is going on for you right there that you can share, that can offer value. So I've got a couple of windows open that I want to share. Sorry about that. Let me just make this so it doesn't actually make you feel like. So your task is to go out and seek interview topics and article topics, interview talking points, right? So my interviews and my whole topics can be around my book. What I want to do is I've got media appearances that will come up on different platforms, but my book, hang on, I'm trying to see where the actual copy of my book. So my 11 key principles are in my book. The key principle of consistently going public, key principles of integrity-based self-publishing, the key principles of, hopefully you can see that. Let me see what you can see. Yeah, cool. And I'm sharing the chapters of my book. Chapter 3, and the key principles behind Soul Fuel playlists. Chapter 4, the key principles behind I Am Perfect Practice, the key principles of authentic, real, raw and real presenting, right? Key principles of aligning your soul path. Key principle number 7 of intuitively course correcting performance. Number 8, the principles of staying true to your purpose. Number 9, the principle of honing your soul signature system. Key principle 10, pulling in purpose-driven profits. And key principle number 11, the principle of positioning with lighthouse partnerships, joint vision partnerships again. Excuse me. So you see that what I want to be interviewed on is got to be relevant to my book. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. Robin was being interviewed by Diana. And what did Christine John say? Number 1, true. A person needs to feel stable foundation. I tried to think, blah, blah, blah. The inner tribe. So people are commenting. Love the video. Thank you so much. So that's really nice to be in front of other people's audiences. And Diana is also one of Robin's students. And Robin was being featured by Casey. And we did have the chat and stuff from Casey, but I don't know why it's not there. No, it's not there. I'm not sure. But anyway, I don't know. It's going somewhere. I can hear it now. So all the whole chat was filled with Casey's community. A beautiful, beautiful, beautiful community. Obviously, I was on there. Everyone talked about our joint vision partnerships. So when you have a joint vision partnerships, then you can share each other. Robin got to share her YouTube channel. She got to share her Money Blocks Clone Challenge. Jennifer was on there. And people came over to my world through Robin. So thank you, Robin. All right, let me see what you can see. My book on Amazon, taking a little while to load, so I'll come back to it. Other things that I want to talk about are things that are inside my book. So I've got the overall principles, and then these are key search terms that I have searched and I want to feature in my book, the kind of topics. So overcoming money blocks, high paying soul clients, first coaching session, how do you become a YouTube influencer? And I could say, and actually I've got a video about that on my YouTube channel if you want to dive deeper. How to write a spiritual business plan, blah, blah, blah. And so, oh, do I have it on? I don't have it on. Do I not have it on? Hang on. I must not have. Oh, yeah, I have the keywords everywhere. So when we do, let me see what you can see. When we do, and my computer's gone black because it's late. In the 5-day the 5-day spiritual YouTubers from scratch challenge that goes at the core of my book, I teach about setting up a YouTube channel and your videos and putting keywords in so your video gets ranked in YouTube, but also the keywords and the YouTube channels and the videos that people are watching, so you can run YouTube ads and get more exposure. So the more that you earn, the more that you have that financial freedom, the more that you have to pour into Amazon ads and YouTube ads, which is on that one-page plan, to actually get out there and get featured. So there's some keywords, etc. there. This video, if you notice, although it's part of my book launch videos, you'll see that they say up and coming. I haven't created all of those videos, right? So how to get high paying coaching clients online. So that's an interview, the Q&A with Iona. And it's out there. It's on my video, on my YouTube channel, and I can just speak like I do into this one. So I teach you how to create that illusion of a full channel and the kind of topics that you want to speak on, the things that you want to launch in your book, even your book being on pre-order a year before you write it. I talk about that in the mastermind. So this isn't like, oh, well, you've got to create everything right now. But if you create the space to and a plan, you can live into that, if that makes sense. So that's the masterclass and the bonuses, the Bank Became 50 Days Challenge. And I'm talking about speaking via video, serving via video, and signing up via video. And I've got masterclass bonuses. So when I go out and get featured, all roads want to lead to my masterclass. And when people register for my masterclass, if you haven't, you get to click and watch it live on the last Monday of the month. And when you go into this is the power of automation. I didn't plan on doing this, but I'm going to do it anyway. This is the power of automation, right? The last Monday of the month, right? So not an invalid name. Sometimes it does that to me. Hang on. My full name. Okay. I spelled my name wrong, but it's okay. It doesn't know how I spell my name. Right? Hang on. So register for the event. So you register for the event, right? And then I have a video. And so I've got a free chapter of my book. I've got the 5-day, a free preview to the 5-day challenge as the freebie, right? Free chapter, free preview, masterclass homework, and then the Telegram community, right? And then the free chapter group coaching VIP day. And then in here, we go to the webinar event page. Don't ask me why it's not loading. But when the timer gets to 0, you'll watch the masterclass again, the freebies. Can you see that? Like, I want to go out there and I want to get featured on the topics that lead to my business. And when you see the one-page plan, you'll know what I mean. One, free publicity on podcast, radio, and shit want to give you. I've already signed up for their email list. And so you may have seen in the previous days me talking about some of the places that you can get featured and some of the places that you can model. So this says see featured experts, and I picked Michelle, and I mentioned her before, and I'd scrolled down and I picked Michelle, and I want to see, it could be anyone, what her interview topics are. Interview how to run your business like a rock star. What is enlightenment and how can one awaken? Have you slipped into something more comfortable like a coma? So interview credentials, etc. And Michelle is not only has global success manager business as well as that of Bob Proctor with The Secret, blah, blah, blah. She has co-authored in over 80 books, CDs, and TV shows. Wow. Michelle has put on seminars in over 26 countries with Bob Proctor, the late Bob Proctor, Jack Canfield, Deepak Chopra and also Wayne Dyer. Hello, who wouldn't want her on your show? Right, we're not going to that level, or Iona Mead hasn't got there yet, but imagine bringing her onto your show. I don't even know why I'm not using this, because that's amazing. And not say that I won't as I grow and I bring more people on there. Oh my gosh, I nearly kicked over my ring light. So that's a free chapter of my book and the outside of my Movement Marketing Media Kit Challenge. And so there's the book. So there's the principles of my book. Okay, so hopefully you have found that of great value. Let me know. I'm going to stop screen sharing. If you found it of value, and Robin, if you've come back, I'm sure you have, then let me know that you found that of value. Thank you so much for being here with me on this Movement Marketing Media Kit Challenge. Hopefully it's helpful. It's making sense and you're piecing your pieces of the puzzle together. Again, we want to be ready for the MMMK challenge on the Trello board to go out there and get featured. And again, my students have access to the Trello board, and I will actually give details of the people that I reach out to, and I will put that as a directory, and I will have everyone that's registered in the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network and on the monthly call, I will put your profiles on there. You'll have to register on the monthly call for me to put your profile in the directory, and that just dropped in for me because I'm not going to put everyone in there who has not created a media kit, who is not, that doesn't make sense, who has not built their business to add value to other people's lives, right? So I love you billions, and I shall speak to you soon. I shall see you for day 7, where we're talking about joint vision partnership pitch template. So that's that template that you're going to be creating and the portfolio and putting everything together and sharing it in the group. All right, so do your homework, your tasks, and I shall see you for day 7. Take care. Bye.